But see, when you step to him, you got to have your mind made up. Because if he say anything you don't like, then the foot soldier get him. And see, that's the way I played when I was on Ferguson, man. And that's the way he taught me to play.
You know, most young men, you know, their mentality, they be out here moving around. They'll drive everywhere. They could go from here to California in a matter of days. But when you get locked up, you're confined to a certain space, to your cell, to the day room. Mentally, from, you know, for you being in there so long, how do normally you see a young dude coming in slow down, basically? Like to where, you know, he used to wake up free as a bird, go all around the city, do whatever he want. But now he has to be confined to a 6x8 room, confined to a day room, can't just be as free as he want. How was that transition for a young inmate?
That transition gonna come real quick, believe it or not. Because the thing about prison is, out here, as you say, you can move around and go here and there. That mean out here, you can run from your problems. That mean out here, when shit go wrong, you can leave town, you can go stay over here, you can go over there, you can change your number, you can get away from this shit. But in prison, when a nigga realize them bars go clean and you stuck right here, get a problem with that nigga that stay on 3 row or 2 row. That problem gonna be looking you in your face, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Ain't no running from a bitch ass thing up in there. So eventually, a nigga gonna realize I can't be who I was, man. In them streets, I kicked up dust, man. Knew me over there and over there. But on this block right here, ain't no place I can go and sleep with both eyes closed. So I better slow this shit down, man, because I can't have too many niggas on this block looking at me sideways, because I got to sit out there with them niggas, man. And I only got 2 eyes, man. And if one of them in front of me, how I'm gonna see the nigga behind me? And then you never know where jealousy or envy gonna come from. You got this who you made an enemy. You got the behind you who you made an enemy. But now you not knowing just because you getting a letter every day, you done produce one over there and one over there because they ain't heard from their people. Then when you start talking about what the letter says, start showing the pictures, now you got a over here and a over there, mad wrote them and sent them shit. So when you in that environment, you have no choice but to slow down. That goes back to that saying, put your back against the wall, man, and constantly look around. Because you never know where that threat gonna come from.
Is it better to downplay the love you get from the outside? Like, it sounds like it's better to not even tell people like you got a lot of love coming from outside them bars, because someone else may look at that and, you know, that envy and jealousy come quick.
No, it's never good to tell nobody what's going on with you, man. Unless you got a partner that you really looked at like your brother, man. If y'all from the same area, or if y'all got the same common foundation, to where y'all looking at the world through with the same vision, having the same dreams, that's who you can share those intimate moments with. Because everybody not rooting for you, man. Some people don't give a fuck about your family. Some people might know your family that you don't know them. They might be tired of hearing you talk about how you were living out there. See what I'm saying? It's a small world, man. And when you got people in your family who been in the streets making moves and you grew up around pimp, hustle, drug dealers, those people got people. And those people gonna know some of your people. So when you go to jail, it ain't like you just in that bitch alone. It's guaranteed you gonna run into somebody who gonna know you. And everybody ain't rooting for you, man. But see, when you first get there, you under that illusion that after I fight this, fight that, we might play a game of basketball, might find a workout partner, everything is cool. But then let that time keep spinning, man, and you gonna resort all the way back to ground one where you first started. Somebody ain't gonna respect that shit. Somebody gonna despise that shit. And then you have to show them exactly where you stand when it comes to this and that. Because they gonna disrespect you and your people.
Damn.
Yeah.
How does one, or what are the different ways to handle conflict resolution? Meaning, you know, you have some opposition in here. What are the ways to go about it? Because again, there's people that's never sat foot in prison, and you know, they might think, oh, I gotta fight this. Can I talk to him? Do I go to his OG? Do I go to the guards? Do I go to that rat on the wall? What are the ways of conflict resolution to kill an issue? Like, all right, I know I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna kill this issue off the rip.
It depends on who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a sucker and a peon ass, but you know he hiding behind others, and you know they using that for what he got and his resources, then you go ahead and address them, man. Cause you know he a sucker, he don't count. So walk around him and go straight to the he's sitting up on and say, look out, bro. You know, your little foot soldier over there, he done crossed the line, man. You know, whether you got your shit, said he was gonna pay you, smoke your shit, or stole something, went into the wrong cell, made a mistake. and just tell a nigga, homie, this what your boy did. But see, when you step to him, you got to have your mind made up. Because if he say anything you don't like, then fuck the foot soldier, get him. And see, that's the way I played when I was on Ferguson, man. And that's the way he taught me to play. Why? Because it ain't gonna make no difference, man. Because if you step down on this, he gonna feel some type of weight. So instead of you doing that first, you show them respect by coming to him, letting him know before you strike. Say, homie, put your partner on the leash, man. He slipping over there, man. I don't like what he did, and then I got a reputation, so I can't let it slide. I'd rather let y'all handle it. They gonna either respect that and punish this, or they gonna jump fly with you and say, whether he right or wrong, we gonna ride with him. And then from there, when you got a name, take off on that nigga, because it is what it is, man. See what I'm saying? But if it's somebody that's already established and a nigga approach you, then that's on sight, man. Because he basically trying you, homie. And that's just what that is on that point. Ain't nobody to go to talk about this, because he is the nigga. So when he come to you sideways, you know, hey, if it's a misunderstanding and you can see that he don't understand, but you done size it up and know he got comprehension to where if you could just get him to see it like this here, then you roll the dice on maybe the feel that shit, man. And you can say, bro, you know, it's like this and like that, man. And two men can resolve it peacefully. And he can be like, well, damn, man, they said it was like that, bro. My bad, you know, because I thought we was going to get into it. And then, you know, as men, y'all could let that go. Because that never was nothing. But if you come to it and already looking some type of way, frown up, got his shirt hanging out his back pocket like he on go, then just go ahead, start talking, man. And when you peep not what he's saying, but how he's saying it, go on, take off on it. May the best man win. Because at that point there, it's like this right here, homie. You can't run from your problems, man. See, out here, you can get up and move around. See, in there, ain't no running from your problems, man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to deal with that shit one way or another, sooner or later, now or tomorrow, because it ain't going nowhere.
To throw the first punch, like you said, just to take off, you know, can you miscalculate that? Like, you know, when you're supposed to go that way, or are you saying it's better just to go and get it over with? Like, just take off first.
The sad reality about combat in prison is a fight is never a fight. You at war. Because when you in there, whatever happened to you in that paint is the same happening to your family outside that gate. Because if that nigga send your ass to that hospital, who the f think coming to see you in that ward and make that phone call home talking about you was critically wounded in a battle with another inmate? It's them people out there, man. So, you know, I learned from my old school, like I said before, man. He told me, homie, when you go in that penitentiary, remember this here, bro. Somebody mama got to get the bad news, man. Choose who mama is going to be. And that's the only thing that kept me really alive in that, man. Because this wise choices got to be made. And like when a nigga say a nigga real, you'll never know how real a nigga is until you put him in a real situation and see what type of decisions get made and how long it take to make them decisions, man. Because when sitting back and got to deliberate back and forth and telling yourself, man, I should do this, I should do that. And he steady trying to go around making that damaging move. He trying to avoid doing the shit that's gonna cost him, the shit that requires heart. Nigga, you really a scary man. Because it don't take a lot when you got to decide his mama finna get the bad news. Once you tell yourself that, you know exactly what to do to make sure that news get to that bitch. But if you hesitate and you pause, you playing with your mama now. And I don't believe in playing with mines, homie. I don't. That's why in terms of conflict, my best response to a conflict, man, is stop it before it starts. And in order to do that, you have to be good at peace. Because when you good at peace, you twice as good at war. Because the wiser you are, the more words you have. That's a known fact, man. And I know in war, blood gonna be shed. And some niggas don't understand that if you my brother and we engaged in battle and you die, I can't focus on your death. I got to keep fighting. Some not built like that. They gonna stop and try to render aid and get off too. I'm not built like that, man. And nah, you can't be like that, bro. It's a survival thing, man. So you gotta be 10-toe flat and live this shit and walk this shit more than you dead after and stay in the game, man. Because all you got is one shot. Ain't no such thing as going backwards. So since we can't take it backwards, let's get it understood. We're gonna take it forward. Which is why I say when you approach it and approach you in prison, man, and he stepping to you sideways or done tried you, man, go and get that shit out the way, bro. Why? Because there's barbed wire fence around this. The guards is not gonna save you. You can pray to God all day, but he's not finna drop down out the sky right here this moment and end this. God done already gave you the strength to deal with it, man. So may the best man win. And see, I say that easily, but homie, I'm gonna tell you something, bro. That's easier said than done. Cause when I was in cell, I'm gonna show you how can make mistakes and get killed. I could have been him. I'm in a cell with another 6'4", man. You know what I'm saying? 6'4", 6'5", this about at least 265. Telling me what he gonna do, and I got the boss lady bringing me some pack of squares, homie. This won't stand at the door and jack his dick on the bitch. Now guess what I tell a say, homie? You can't do that right now, bro. I got somebody coming through. Tell me I can't tell him what he can and can't do with his dick. I understand that, I respect that, bro. But let me get my shit. And out of all these hoes on this block, don't jack your dick on this bitch, man. This the bringing me money, nigga. You eating some of the soups that I hustle for and feed that this allowed me to get doing what she do, and I'm feeding them to you. But at this point, I realized this nigga must think I'm good, man. So I let him get to the cell though. And this is why I say make mistakes, man. You got to have patience in everything. When he got to that motherfucking door, the door got 2 little slots in this. Ask anybody ever been a super seg or administrative segregation in the penitentiary. Them cell doors got 2 metal slots, and there's a corner on this side, sharp in the. And he got to that door. I went from that bump, jumped in the air, pushed his head into the corner of that door and split it. Dazed. Mind you, this a big. When he turned around, I made the mistake. I went to trying to punch with this. Instead of grabbing his head by his shirt and slinging him head first into the floor and then proceed, I'm trying to use my fist thinking that these here are always gonna win the fight because we in a toe-to-toe battle. I ain't did nothing but wake the big ass up, man. He was knocked out on his feet. Me punching him woke him up. When I woke him up, he was in a fight for his life because he was up. He couldn't see, half his head was gone. That nigga grabbed me home and slammed me on that floor. All 300 pounds just laid on me, and that nigga refused to lift me up, bro. I'm talking about that nigga held me, squeezed me so tight, nigga, I was on the floor. Couldn't grab none of nothing. The same bitch come through to drop the packs off, seeing that shit. She didn't even want to call the laws. Why? Because she dirty. So now I'm hoping that might show some mercy, but ain't no mercy because I didn't show him none. The bitch had no choice but to spray the gas, bro. And see, that's when I learned, man, you got to have patience and you got to be wise, man, because when you make mistakes, you can't undo what's done. Yeah. And when tables turn, homie, and you on the bottom, it ain't never fun when the rabbit got the gun, but you got to accept your fate. And that bitch sprayed that gas, and that's what saved me. But after that, I learned from that, homie. Some fights ain't never meant to start, man. But then that goes back to your comprehension of character. I've been seeing the signs, but I didn't act on the shit. I've been knew this was a loose cannon and wasn't stable, but I didn't act on the shit. I knew wasn't nothing player about the but I kept him around me. And just like they said, what the most streets say, everybody not your friend, everybody not your partner. Stole my weed, but I shouldn't have showed him where it is. Say, homie, this shit is real, man. And I learned from that mistake being in prison, so it's not hard to get killed. That's why I say, deal with that shit head on and get it out the way, man. And try to avoid it if you can, because people show you certain shit they capable of day in, day out. You just gotta pay attention, man. And you do that when you sit back quiet. That's why I respect the who don't do nothing but mop that broom, have no friends, and go left to right. He see shit, he hear shit, and he keep it to himself. But that silence is brought by psychological misery because he know everything he hear, everything he see, that shit leads to nothing.